Do you know who the Abraham Lincoln was? If not, stay with us to discover about his life, his achievements, and his death. The story of Abraham Lincoln is one of determination, courage, and leadership during one of the most difficult periods in American history. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a small log cabin in Hardin County, which is now known as LaRue County. His parents, Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln, were poor farmers, and Lincoln grew up in a humble environment where hard work and perseverance were part of everyday life. As a young boy, Lincoln had very limited access to formal education, attending school for less than a year in total. However, he developed a deep love for reading and learning. He often borrowed books from neighbors and spent long nights studying by candlelight. Through self-education and determination, Lincoln developed strong skills in storytelling, debate, and law, which later helped him rise in politics. When Lincoln was young, his family moved to Indiana, where he worked on farms and helped support his family. Despite the hardships of frontier life, Lincoln continued educating himself and eventually decided to pursue a career in law. In the 1830s, he moved to Illinois, where he began working as a store clerk, surveyor, and later studied law independently. By 1836, he passed the bar exam and became a lawyer. Lincoln soon gained a reputation for honesty and fairness, earning the nickname Honest Abe. His ability to connect with ordinary people and explain complex issues in simple language made him a respected figure in his community. Lincoln's political career began when he was elected to the Illinois General Assembly in 1834 as a member of the Whig Party. During his time in politics, Lincoln became increasingly concerned about the expansion of slavery in the United States. Although slavery already existed in the southern states, Lincoln strongly believed that it should not spread into new territories. His views on this issue eventually brought him national attention, especially during his famous debates with Stephen A. Douglas in 1858. These debates focused on the future of slavery in the country and helped Lincoln gain widespread recognition as a powerful speaker and defender of human freedom. In 1860, Lincoln ran for president as the candidate of the Republican Party and won the election, becoming the 16th president of the United States. However, his victory immediately triggered a national crisis. Several southern states, fearing that Lincoln would abolish slavery, decided to leave the United States and form their own nation called the Confederate States of America. This led to the outbreak of the American Civil War, one of the deadliest and most important conflicts in American history. As president, Lincoln's greatest challenge was to preserve the Union and keep the country from permanently splitting apart. During the war, Lincoln showed remarkable leadership and resilience. He faced criticism, political pressure, and the enormous responsibility of guiding the nation through a devastating conflict. In 1863, Lincoln issued one of the most important documents in American history, the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that enslaved people in Confederate territories were free. Although it did not immediately end slavery everywhere, the proclamation changed the purpose of the war and made the fight against slavery a central goal of the Union. It also allowed thousands of formerly enslaved people to join the Union Army and fight for their freedom. Later that same year, Lincoln delivered one of the most famous speeches in history at the dedication of a cemetery in Gettysburg. His speech, known as the Gettysburg Address, was only a few minutes long but carried a powerful message about democracy, equality, and the sacrifices made during the war. In this speech, Lincoln reminded Americans that the nation was founded on the principle that all people are created equal, and that the sacrifices of soldiers must ensure that government of the people, by the people, for the people, would survive. By 1865, after 4 years of brutal warfare, the Union finally achieved victory over the Confederate forces, effectively ending the Civil War. Lincoln had successfully preserved the United States and helped pave the way for the abolition of slavery through the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. However, just as the nation was beginning to heal, tragedy struck. On the evening of April 14, 1865, Lincoln attended a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. During the performance, he was shot by John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer and actor. Lincoln was taken across the street to a nearby house, where he died the following morning on April 15, 1865. The assassination of Abraham Lincoln shocked the nation and the world. Millions of Americans mourned the loss of a leader who had guided the country through its darkest hours. Today, Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history. His leadership preserved the United States during the Civil War, his policies helped end slavery, and his words continue to inspire people around the world. From a humble log cabin to the presidency, Abraham Lincoln's life remains a powerful example of perseverance, moral courage, and the belief that equality and freedom should be the foundation of every nation.
Share the video and subscribe the channel for amazing updates.